Another day, another niche. Let's go and rank a pest control business. Now, what do we have on this screen? Today, you are going to learn exactly how this works and why it matters if you want to make a lot of money from organic search. Now, what is this? Let's start with this. This is a backlink profile analysis of the top 3 competitors for this exact niche here. This is Baltimore pest control. I've chosen Baltimore. It's a nicely sized city, and it's a city that's as large as the city in which we just ranked another pest control business, and we gotten the results that are like this on the screen. Good stuff. If you want to do something like that for your pest control clients, if you are an SEO or marketing agency, or if you run a pest control business and you are taking care of your own SEO, this is exactly what you need to do to rank. Not here on the map pack. I will also tell you what to do there, but that's a lot more straightforward. But here on the organic results, which is an area that most local businesses ignore, they don't put any attention on any effort there, even though in many cases is a lot easier to rank here than it is to rank up there. It's massively niche dependent. But if the competitors on the map pack are entrenched, okay, if the guys who are here at the top, they have 5-star rating with hundreds of reviews, or 4.9 with thousands of reviews. They've been for 40 plus years, 25 years in business, 40 years in business, 4.9 to 100 reviews. And they not only have a ton of reviews, which is the single most important thing for ranking on Google Business Profile on the map pack, whether it's here on this map pack or here, okay, on maps. Yes, this is where 60 to 65% of the queries that transform into leads will happen, but that doesn't mean that you should ignore the other 40%, especially when it's one, way easier to rank in many cases, and two, if we're talking about, I don't know, let's see what we're talking about. A query that the main parent query, okay, Pest Control Baltimore, has hundreds of searches, okay, per month, and is only growing here about to hit the thousands, and there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of surrounding queries that you can also rank for with the same amount of effort. You don't have to duplicate or quadruplicate your effort to rank for more keywords. You just need to do things right, and the whole website will rank. If you could rank hundreds of your pages for related terms and get thousands of viewers every month, do you care if 4,000 and new viewers from Google that might result in, I don't know, 200 more leads, which could be something between 40 and 60 more clients per month? Do you care if that's only 40% of the total pie and you're missing out on an additional 60% when at the moment you aren't getting either of those? Does it really matter? It doesn't, right? So let's get us some nice juice here. Okay, let's get us some nice juicy clients. And like I said, if you want to rank here, very straightforward. Make sure that your Google Business Profile is 100% complete. There's checklists online for that. 100% complete. Owner seed Q&As, amazing. As many reviews as you can, as often as you can. Respond to all of them. Make sure that the sentiment on those reviews, what people are saying, is positive. It's in depth. It includes keywords on those reviews. You see how that's a little bit hard to control unless you get in fake reviews for which the FTC can make you a new bumhole, right? So we don't want that. And in some cases, if you just start in a pest control business and you want to launch it, regardless of how much money you have, you're going to have to, one, acquire clients from a different channel and then have them give you reviews. And as you start stacking those, you will be able to start competing. But what if you could instead, the existing business that you already have that's currently ranking in page 3, do the analysis that I show you on the screen and a little bit of planning that will take you a bit of time, but $0. And before you start spending money, you can probably get this result here or this result here. You'll be like, Alex, why can't I get these 2 results here? Well, these results here is what I call inorganic. Okay, this is hard baked into the algorithm. A forum and a Yelp type of website. Google will always show some results like this baked into the top 3, top 5 to offer variety to the user. But the user will want to see things like this because in many cases the user doesn't care what's on the map. They go here. Why? Different people, different behavior. Okay, it's the way it is. There's people for everything. Okay, so how do we rank there? Amazing. Number 1, identify your top 3 competitors. Okay, for yourself or for your client, if you're serving clients here. If you're serving clients, you're going to learn a lot of other things that are good for every single niche that you do, not just pest control. Then you want to segment the backlink profile in terms of the different DR ranges of the good backlinks pointing to the website. This is a good point to show you here that while relevance everyone is aware of, and everyone is aware that both the website and the page linking to the website that you're trying to rank are important, very few people have accepted an undeniable fact that is the first thing that has to happen is trust. Trust is a conditio sine qua non. If the website that is linking to you isn't trusted, that backlink is worth virtually nothing in comparison to the same backlink coming from a trusted website. What does that mean? Trust is simply measured in traffic, which means the websites that link to you, they themselves have to rank for their own target keywords. It doesn't matter if they rank for your target keywords. That's a unicorn type of backlink. Okay, don't pursue those. Don't do that. Pursue sites that they rank for their own target keywords. They are real businesses looking to get leads from Google just exactly as you are, and Google is giving them that because it means that Google trusts them. And if they trust them, they will trust the outbound links coming out of the website. Very straightforward, okay? Now, that's the first thing. So download every single backlink from your competitors. There's a video up here and on the description box below where I'll run you through the exact process, step by step, with templates that you can use if you have about 15 to 20 hours of time in your hands to completely dissect a backlink profile in the single detailed way that you can possibly imagine. Something that 99.9% of SEOs will not do because it's too much work, okay? And they don't know how to do it. And I taught that for free because people told me that you need to give value to the internet, and that's how you build trust. So here's what I'm doing, okay? This segment here, the links that are DR60 and above, okay, the very strong backlinks, those are going to be carrying most of the page rank that is ultimately ranking these websites. And the beautiful thing, if you have access to data like this and you are an SEO agency, is that you no longer have to convince your clients that backlinks are important and see if they can make a different budget appear out of thin air, even though you cannot really justify how many backlinks and whatnot, because again, getting your hands in this data is time consuming. You can just show them the data, okay? So that's it, no more pitches. With this, segment the backlinks by different DR ranges, and we're only segmenting, for the sake of the record one more time, the backlinks that are trusted. Everything that has zero traffic, you ignore it. Okay, that's the noise, okay? This is only signal. Signal equals happy rankings. Amazing. So we got all of that, and as you can see here, there's a very clear trend where all the competitors that are top 3 in the organic results have quite a lot of power on the DR60 plus, good powerful backlinks that are pushing the rankings up, and then a little bit of backlinks all throughout. Amazing. If this was our client, okay, Meyerhans Pest Control, if I had any interest of launching a pest control business in the city of Baltimore under this brand name, and I was starting from zero, maybe I'm doing okay on the map pack for some of the other surrounding areas, the smaller towns, right? Or maybe I'm doing great with Facebook ads and whatnot on social media, but my SEO is weak and I don't want to spend money on ads all in time. Amazing. What do I do? Well, I need to get something like this, and in particular, actually, Brody Brothers Pest Control is the one that we need to analyze the closest because they have the best results, and because they all look so similar. Let's just look at the best winner. Amazing. This is only from a link building point of view. This has nothing to do with the businesses as businesses, right? There's not any sort of analysis there. And then what we have to do is score all of those backlinks by the relevance after we've looked at the trust and after we've segmented by the authority. Then and only then do we look at the relevance that everyone loses their minds about in link building, because they don't really know, because they don't do this 24/7 like we do. Amazing. If the website is relevant but the page is relevant, 1 point, you get the deal. If both are relevant, 2 points. If neither is relevant, half a point, which is half a point is not 0 points, okay? The link still matters, but obviously matters at least 4 times less than a link that will be perfectly relevant, provided that is trusted and authoritative. Fantastic. Now that we have this, quick look at velocity. In this niche, people are building an average of 2 links per month. To catch up with these competitors, we will have to do more than that. Very straightforward, okay? This is the average competitor and how they look. This is how a brand new client looks. We need to get them here as affordably as possible, as fast as possible, and with as much certainty as possible, provided that we don't own Google nor the search engine results. How do we do that? Okay, so in this particular case, we can build something like the average, but I would recommend you to build something like the top competitor. These are the queries that I'm going to analyze live here in this case study, and I will tell you what to do exactly for each one of these keywords to rank. Quick look at tier 2s, okay? All these are tier 1 links. This is links that are pointing directly to the competitor, but those links will also receive some backlinks sometimes, which will make these pages here stronger. They will have a higher URL rating, more page rank at the page level, which will ultimately push rankings harder, everything else being equal. Fantastic. How much of that do we have? Okay, pretty much the same all throughout. All of these competitors have a few of their backlinks that receive a handful of tier 2s, some that receive even more, and in some cases one backlink that has a lot of tier 2 support, either organic or inorganic. We don't know, we don't care. We can replicate it with access to links that we can control. For the tier 2 links, I will give you a pro tip. Use PBNs. Okay, never use PBNs, in my opinion, for clients in the tier 1. Okay, most clients don't understand the risk and they will not sign up for the risk if they understood. If this is mom and pop businesses that want to be in business in the next 10 years, PBNs at the tier 1 level are okay for your own project, that you don't mind if they burn at some point because you're the only one that gets impacted. That's okay. For the tier 2, however, you can do extremely safe anchor text and point them to those internal pages at the very small volume, which will be completely safe, but will increase the power of those pages. You can also do tier 1's quality at the tier 2 if you want to really burn through your budget. That's okay, your prerogative. I'm just here to teach you how to do it affordably, but everyone their own. Okay, Baltimore pest control. This is our keyword here in loads of search volume, right? If you remember, we looked at the query inverted, so pest control Baltimore, and it also had hundreds of searches, which tells you that this query is probably being looked at in hundreds of different ways. People are looking for the exact same idea, and each keyword will have its own unique search volume, but the aggregate search volume is wild. And this is why I don't care if the organic only gets 40%, if I'm talking about 4, 5, 6,000 searches per month, where I can capture, okay, 40% of 6,000 searches a month. I will take the 2,400 searches and be their number 1. And if I can convert on my landing page at just 10%, amazing, 240 leads. Can I close, I don't know, 10% of those? That's 24 more clients each and every single month without having to do additional work each and every single month. And at the value that pest control businesses get on the lifetime value of a client, I would say 24 clients per month is probably worth a lot of moolah. So what do you need to do? You need to understand who's ranking first and foremost. Brody Brothers is who is doing the best on this niche, but they actually have an inaccuracy in the way that their SEO is set up. They are ranking for the big keyword with an inner page that exactly duplicates what the homepage does. Their homepage should be ranking for this, which means they should not have this inner page targeting that, because their homepage already targets that. And that is the case. The moment that we go here down to exterminator, we have a better case. This is the same query, fundamentally, the same intent behind it. Rosenblum Pest and Pest SAR are doing really good with the homepage. And you're like, okay, well, they're doing even better with an inner page. But if you've seen any of my previous videos on this series, you will know homepages always have the single strongest case to rank. The main difference here is that Brody Brothers is at tier 41, so it's outdoing them in terms of the sheer power of the website, not because the page, the URL itself is stronger, which in this case, Rosenblum is actually stronger, and PestSAR is also stronger. When we come here to Termite Inspection Baltimore, what is our surprise? That what's basically a narrower idea. Pest control is the niche defining idea. Termite inspection is obviously a sort of pre-extermination pest-related queries, so it's below in terms of hierarchical importance, then their homepage ranks. So realistically, the ideal user experience that you should be offering both for users and for Google would be that for the big pest control keywords, you target that with your homepage. You're going to have the strongest case, for which you will have to outdo the strongest competitors out there in terms of backlinks, which in this case is Rosenblum, and Pests are also very strong there. And then when we see Brody Brothers at the homepage level, this is the backlinks of the exact URL, it's even stronger. So the summary is you're going to need 4 of these, 17 of these, because that's what the stronger player has there. And then if you go above and you see, right, you will see that then these guys are a little bit stronger here and a little bit stronger there. So you need 3, 4, 2, 17. Okay, that's the total amount of backlinks that you will need to rank with the homepage for Baltimore Pest Control, Baltimore Exterminator, and so forth. Issue. These are big, broad keywords, which has lots of search volume behind them. Google will rarely, very, very rarely, put you from 0 to hero in one go with the big keywords. Typically, they start ranking you for the smaller, more highly specific queries where they can get quickly user engagement data that's going to feed the nav boost and a whole bunch of other algorithms that measure the user experience and feed that back into page one, like RankBrain. There's a 40-minute masterclass on the description box of this video that you can watch, where I not only show you all of this from a conceptual standpoint, I'll show you Google patents, I'll show you declarations from Google against the Department of Justice of the US. It's very, very, very thorough. So you can see actually what matters with SEO and how everything fits. From content fits user experience, from user experience it feeds into this thing here feeds into that thing there. You get it. We are going to need these very many backlinks for the homepage. Good. And then what happens at the inner page level? How many internal pages can we rank for different services and different locations that will be easier to rank as we slowly build the authority on the homepage? We build the authority on the lower layer and we start ranking for those queries, which will start producing leads and new business and new money that will continue to come in and start covering the SEO campaigns to a point where the leads that come from SEO greatly outdo the cost of ranking. And then you can move into some sort of maintenance velocity after you do the big push, the big sprint, and you can just milk search and get leads all the time. I'm sure you understand the benefits. So what we need to do here now is look at the sub keywords. Now, for termite inspection, which in my book would be a page that I would create an internal page for termites, we see homepages ranking. Bedbug exterminator. Now we see internal pages. So what I would suggest you to do is create a bedbug exterminator, create a termite exterminator, rodent exterminator, create all the sub pages for that, but only give them about 1 backlink each. And the reason for that is all the competitors that we are seeing don't have any links at the inner page level. This is extremely common in any low competition niche, and this is a low competition niche. It's not high competition city either, right? As you can see here, if it was a high competition niche, what you would see at the inner page level would be hundreds of links at the inner page level. And if you don't believe me, just try to look for payday loans, which we've done a lot of work on and we've gotten really good rankings. You are building thousands of backlinks per month. In this case, we need to build one good backlink to the inner page, and we'll do the same for our mouse exterminator page, which I suggest you to create. Now, what am I keeping here, the home page, instead of the inner page, when in all of my videos I will show you my inner page? Good question. I see too many home pages, right? So what is most likely to happen is Google will decide on their own what they want to rank. Brody Brothers is ranking with their mice page, and Pest, which is a bigger non-compatible competitor because they're way too big, we're hyper local, they're not, it's just ranking with the big Baltimore page, which means they're ranking with the Baltimore homepage, not with Baltimore /mice, right? So we put this into context, right? This is one, where we need to get the data, and then two, where we need to spend the necessary time yapping at the camera for 20 minutes to understand this data, so that before you actually start spending thousands of dollars on link building, you can make sure that you do it the right way. And then all you have to do is get the right backlinks, which we can help you with, but I'm not going to turn this into a pitch. Let's build us a couple of backlinks to this inner page here, maybe, right? Why? I'm seeing one link here, but then Brody Brothers has a lot of advantage over anyone else. So we can do 1+1 to outdo them a little bit, right? What happens with this commercial pest control? It's slightly different. Anything that is a service that can be both B2C and B2B, the B2B one will be treated slightly differently, right? It won't be like yet another query in the B2C part. As you can see here, that we have now Terminix, right? And JC Elish, that might have a stronger case for commercial types of cleanups. And as you can see here, humongous DR74, DR59, right? And then Brody Brothers. So these two guys are not compatible because of their strength, but because they're an inner page, they serve us as a little bit of a guide. Again, a Baltimore page and a Baltimore page, not a commercial pest control in Baltimore page, which is what Brother Brothers have indeed done. Commercial page, great news, 0 backlinks. Let's build us one nice strong DR60. Now in all these videos, I always tell you what anchor text you should be using. It's right here on the screen. I always tell you, ignore this second half. This is what you get no follow cheap backlinks for. And in this half here, either brand exact or partial, when you see nothing, the answer is always do a partial match anchor text, like commercial pest control. I will never get tired of saying this. Never do keyword plus location on the anchor text. That is a recipe for disaster. Okay, most legitimate websites where you could get a link will say no to that anchor text because it's highly unnatural. So for something like this, right, my mouse exterminator page that I need to build here and build a couple of backlinks, what would I do? Well, likely I would do Meyerhans Pest Control Mice Control, for instance. Meyerhans Pest Control Mice Exterminator. I wouldn't never use Baltimore. Or I would say Meyerhans Mice Control, just like that, right? And then that would be a partial match. That also has my brand name. Alternatively, you can just say your brand name and you will be fine. Can you build brand name backlinks to your inner pages? 100%, 1000% you can, right? In many cases, it greatly outdoes keyword rich anchor text. Situation like this, partial match, innit? Now let's look at a couple of sub locations. How do we rank sub locations, right? We need to see who's there. Typically for surrounding towns or sub locations or boroughs, there might be some hyper local competitors who have a stronger case. Home Paramount and Stop the Pest were nowhere in our radar. They are at the very top for the big, broader Baltimore area, but they appear here for Forest Hill. And if we go now to Parkville, then we see again the bigger competitors. And if we go to Aberdeen, right, Stop the Pest again, and then American Pest, another really big one. So in this particular case here, when we look at Forest Hill, we need to actually ignore these two guys. They're hyper local. They might be harder to outrank, and we need to look at the guys that look like us. Pests are, right? They're comparable to the kind of business that I will build here, which is ranking with a areas we service page. Forest Hill Pest Control, fantastic, with absolutely nothing in terms of backlinks. So let us get one backlink, throw a partial match, and we're good to go. We're doing all of this to do two things. One, we're gonna be building a lot of backlinks to the homepage. Okay, let's get the final math in a second. We need to also build some links to internal pages, while I suggest that you also do a little bit of CTR manipulation, like micro workers or whatever, to send a tiny bit of traffic to those inner pages, hit them with new backlinks, see if you can run a little bit of Google ads to send them actual legit real traffic there and send Google Trust signals that you're a real business running ads. It's very good for organic, believe it or not. And then as those start getting impressions and you start getting clicks and so forth, you can start accelerating and build a few more links per month, so that instead of having to wait, I don't know, we'll see how many backlinks is required here, right? Whatever many months will be, if we go only 2 or 3 backlinks a month, which is as fast as you can go with a brand new business, you can start accelerating, okay? So for these sub locations, what are we gonna do? What have they done? Brody Brothers are gonna be here, a lighthouse. Amazing, they've done nothing. Let us go and build one good backlink, okay? Now in all of these cases, right, you will notice something if you've been paying attention to the screen. Sometimes the number here is super high. This means that these 2 backlinks that stopthepests.com has gotten, they're not only in a strong domain, but they're in a very strong page. I'm like, Alex, how is 10 a high number? For an inner page, 10 is a pretty high number. So these cases here, whenever you see the average link URL pointing to a competitor that you want to outrank high, that is exactly the backlink that's going to need some tier 2 support. Okay, this will be exactly the whatever backlink we acquire for this page here with our partial match text, which is the best. Partial or exact match are the best type of anchors to then push with tier 2s, but do not do exact match unless you are seeing exact match anchor text already ranking. Always do partial instead. Now we know how to use some tier 2s. And then what's the deal with L'Oreal here? Oh, completely different competitors, same. Let us build one link, partial match. Let's see what happens. Ultimately, Google might choose to rank our homepage for absolutely everything, and that's also okay, right? Our job is to create a very clean website, very nicely segmented. These are my services, these are my locations. And then if Google chooses to rank your homepage instead of a location page for a location, that's their prerogative. What I suggest you to do in terms of page structure, don't put any big images, don't put any videos, none of that. menu, heading, services we offer, areas we serve, the form to convert all the way there in the fold, heading, convert form, services we offer so people can go to the right one that matters to there, areas we serve so they see whether you serve them or not, the form follows them, and then you can enter into any of the stuff that you want to put there, like your reviews about your business, all the other stuff that nobody cares. But you, right, they do care about the reviews, and then the Google Business Profile at the bottom of the page, you're good to go, right? But have the form and the main things, how can you help them and where, at the top of the screen. Amazing. So the summary for this, right, when we put the math together of the recommendations that we've given, is that we need to build 34 backlinks, which for some people will sound like a lot, and for some people will be a surprisingly small amount. Depends a lot. Okay, traffic potential 4,200. Aggregated search volume of the keywords that we've looked at. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more. Is 2,600. Okay, so let's do that. 2,600, 40% of that. You know, what does that mean? Leads, etc. I did the math earlier, right? Amazing. We need to build 26 backlinks at the homepage and 8 at the inner page level. And ideally, we want to see our DR go from anywhere between 18 and 41 if you look at the top competitors that were doing the best. A little bit of tier 2 links, and we are good to go. If we put a quick math together, okay, these 34 backlinks, many of them are in the DR60 and so forth. Whether you engage with Haro, digital PR, or guest posts and so forth, the average cost that you can expect to have to invest on per link if you acquire actual good backlinks that will actually work is anything between 250 to 450 bucks, right? So for 34 backlinks at an average of, let's say, 300 bucks, you're looking at 10 grand one time to then get whatever we said here, you know, 40% of these times whatever, you know, what, 20 more clients a month? Then you tell me if one-time expense is worth 20 clients a month. I don't know what your CAC on that is. I think it's $500 for the first round and the rest are free, right? So if your current CAC is lower than that, then fantastic, keep putting money where you're putting it. What else should we be doing to rank on this niche? Well, let me make you privy to the strategy that's been working for both Brody Brothers and Pest SAR. They've gone actually quite heavy on good old top of the funnel content marketing, where they publish a lot of articles like deer mouse versus house mouse, German cockroach, blah 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 blah, are mountain preyers in danger, like can I kill them if they infest my house? This is good because it builds them a lot of topical authority, which has played out nicely for them. If I get a slightly wider time frame, let's see what happened with them, right? They definitely have a lot more keywords and traffic. I don't know why Ahrefs drops there. I'm gonna assume it's a glitch, unless they just got a penalty, but I'm gonna assume it's a glitch. So they had a lot of growth, and you will see here where this growth happened is actually when they started publishing some of that content. So if we come here to the top pages, right, and let's go to rat droppings, why not? You will see that a lot of this content is from 2022, so it's pre-AI, right? And it's pretty decent quality. I've done other video reviews of sites like this, right? Of other businesses that the content marketing of this nature, and it wasn't as cleanly done. This is quite nice, lots of internal links, right? Well formatted images. This is quality content, okay, for a local business trying to educate people on all the pests that they might be facing and what they need to know, etc. This is pretty well done. Something that would have been even better if it's instead of this sidebar, this is okay, instead of these categories, which is just way too much, nobody will click on this, if I had a form that was following me around that I could enter my details and convert, and it would have been even better if here it says proudly serving Baltimore since whenever they are. So if I land as a nationwide viewer, because all these keywords that they rank for is anywhere in the US, if I'm in California and I land here and I read this, like, can you help me? Oh, you're in Baltimore, okay, well, don't worry, right? Yeah, some people might tell by the area code, but some people might not, right? But if I also see the form here says I get a quote for your Baltimore infestation today in minutes, then if I am in that area, then I will very likely convert if I actually have a problem that this is what this content could address. Obviously, the conversion rate will be smaller because a lot of people won't have a problem that they need help with right away. They might be looking at where do centipedes come from, whether they have any centipede infestation on their house or not. This is there to be seen, right? Really remains to be seen, but they aren't interested. So the good thing about this is, one, you have a lot of data as well to do a lot of retargeting, right? Retargeting ads on social media. So you know that they have a degree of intent, a degree of interest in the niche. Maybe they do have the problems. So if you run retargeting ads, you will capture a lot more stuff. This is basically getting top, middle of the funnel interest on search, which is always higher interest than anything else regardless, and see if the bottom of the funnel interest is ready to convert in a different platform. Very smart, right? If you want to do it this way. Pest did the same. They looked at what Brother was doing, and they did the same, right? And I think they did it as a response because a lot of this content is newer. That's my impression, okay? Something that Pest has done really well is very quickly to request a free, no obligation quote, and they have the little thingy here, okay? Also, I'm not sure if it's gonna appear. It doesn't because I'm already logged in, but when I went to exit earlier, I got an exit intent pop-up to capture my details and get a quote, right? So this page is more optimized for conversions, right? Which is really good. It has some improvements in terms of on-page SEO that they could apply and rank even better, but different story, different day, different video. And if we compare this with Rosenblum has barely any pages, right? They don't really rank for a lot of stuff, only the bottom of the funnel stuff that is directly related to their business, right? As you can see, very different there. So when we put all of this together, right, we can see that Rosenblum, who has a way smaller website, had also slightly weaker backlink profile, only at the year 18 and so forth, is still doing great. It's still capturing tons of leads from organic search each and every single month, right? So this tells you just how wide the competition can be, but also like how easy would it be for you to start eating some of that turf, either for yourself or for your clients, and start from there moving on by continuously refining your strategy. All right, so I'm hoping that this video was helpful and it was useful, and it's already past the half an hour mark, so I should shut up by now. If you got any value from this video, you can go and hit the subscribe button. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel that has tons of these videos. I am dropping one of these videos daily. So if you learn something on this video, tomorrow's case will be completely different, as they always are, so you might also learn something there. And of course, if you run an SEO agency and you would like to get this kind of intelligence on the competitive backlink of your clients to see what it is that would be the best things that you can do to deploy that budget and get them results, you can go to getmelinks.com/link-report and grab yourself a copy of the link report. This is also available for end businesses, just the experience will be a bit different because you will need different degrees of help, okay? An SEO agency needs help on fulfillment of the backlinks. If you run a business yourself, you will need help on how to actually get all of this stuff done. And of course, if you need help with link building, we're one of the most reputable companies out there because we've been busting our ass for the last 6 years to actually do quality content and care for our clients, which does not come in cheap. You'll be warned. This was Alejandro Meyerhans. Thank you very much for watching my video series, How to Rank for Everything and Anything and Then Some. I will see you tomorrow with a new niche.